Wait a minute, that's not Ari. Nope, I'm Mike Samsel. I'm back from illness this week. Ari's down with injury this week, but the show goes on. We talk about the 6A playoffs next here on Varsity Voice, presented by SFBN.
Catholic League and the team that everybody's talking about. One final thought, let's get a big, bold prediction.
Hi again, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Varsity Voice here on the Comcast Network. I'm Mike Samsel. Ari out due to injury this week, so I'm being flanked by the team from Calkins Media of Jen Wielgus and Drew Markol. Guys, so great to have you along with us, and we want to start off this week by breaking down the District 1 6A football championships. And Jen, we hop right into it with the 1-16 matchup of North Penn and Haverford. What an unfortunate draw for Haverford.
It would be an unfortunate draw for anybody. Yeah. This North Penn team, I don't think anyone would argue with me, is the overwhelming favorite to win the district title. They made it to the district championship game last year and are much improved over that team. I think, we are looking at a collision course for Neshaminy from the other side of the bracket and North Penn to meet in the district championship game, and that is going to be really exciting.
And Drew, you've mentioned you think this North Penn team could be as good, if not better, than the team that won the state championship in 2003.
Mike, I think it is. They do everything. Do everything well. They can throw it really well. Senior quarterback Reese Yudinsky has been tremendous. He's got a ton of weapons, and high school teams aren't used to defending the pass.
Right.
Let's face it. And they can also run. They play good defense, special teams. It's all there.
And don't forget, they get home games throughout.
That's
nobody
huge.
Wins at Crawford Stadium.
Yeah, that's absolutely huge.
Yeah, really a tough spot. So North Penn, as we mentioned, the overwhelming favorite. Good game in the next matchup, however, the 8-9 matchup of Springford and CB East.
Yeah, I know it's not very profound to say that an 8-9 game is going to be a good game because it's supposed to be. But, CB East, you played in a really tough Suburban 1 Continental Conference where 5 teams ended up making the playoffs. They are battle tested. They had North Penn in their league. Nobody beat North Penn, but playing against that kind of caliber of team really helps you. And they are coming off a 35-0 thumping of Penridge in the season finale, regular season. Another playoff team.
Right.
And I think CB's thought they were going to get a home game. So to have to go out on the road to Springford is kind of a letdown for them. But I really feel like their seasoning through the league might help them in this one. And they've got a shot to win this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And in the 5-12 matchup, Drew, we have Ridley taking on Plymouth Whitemarsh.
Yeah, Mike, you look at the PW team, they lose their opener to Souderton week 1, reel off 8 straight wins. But, that one of those wins was a tough one against Cheltenham, like a 3-point game. You kind of shook your head. Then they lose the last game of the season to Quakertown. They're kind of limping into the playoffs, which is something you don't want to do against Ridley. And it's good to have Ridley back in the postseason. I'd like them there.
What a great season for Abington. Won just one game last season. This year they come back, fight to the top of the conference, make the playoffs. Congratulations. You got to go on the road and play Coatesville.
Yeah, and like you said, it's a nice story because, Kevin Conlon's a first-year coach, and Abington has a long storied history of being in the playoffs, and now they're back. But, and I know the Abington community was a little mad at me for pointing out the fact that they haven't really beaten anybody because the Suburban 1 National, their league, was really down this year. And yeah, as nice as it is to be there, you're not beating Coatesville on the road.
Well, I got to say, I'm not a big fan of moral victories, but for Abington to get into the playoffs, after the 1-win season last year, that's the goal. And they did,
3-14 matchup has Perk Valley taking on Penwood. Perk Valley unquestionably has the offense to make it all the way to a district championship game. Do they have the defense?
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
This one, to beat Penwood, I think they'll roll here. Their problem comes a little bit down the road.
The 6-11 matchup features Downingtown East against Souderton, another team returning to the playoffs.
I know, Mike, that you're not a big believer in betting on the Chestmont League.
Right.
But in this one, Souderton had such an up and down year, and it's easy to do when you play in the Continental against the North Penns and the Penridges and the CB schools. I just don't think going on the road to Downingtown East, you're going to pull one out. So I'm going chalk on this one.
You're right. I'm not a big believer in the Chessmont League, but 2 years ago I picked North Penn to win the district, and they lost in the first round to a Chessmont team. So take my predictions for what that's worth. The 7-10 matchup, CB South and Garnet Valley. This is a talented CB South team.
It is, and they, getting a home game here, on their new field, good for them. They bounce back from some losses to North Penn and Neshaminy. They go in, there'll be a lot of excitement there. These two played a couple years ago in a shootout down at Garnet Valley that Garnet Valley won, a crazy game. This one, again, it's a good, this to me is the best matchup on the card in the first round.
Okay.
I lean towards CB South, but, it could come down to a field goal.
Neshaminy takes on Penridge in the 2-15 matchup. Kind of a tough draw for this Neshaminy program.
Well, it would seem that way. And these teams played, and I know Drew was at that game, played earlier in the non-league. And honestly, Penridge would not be here today if they hadn't played the likes of Neshaminy in the non-league schedule, because Penridge is really limping into the playoffs right now. They needed power points like that just to get in. As I mentioned earlier, they lost to CB East in their regular season finale, 35-0. So yes, it would seem like this would be, a rough matchup for Neshaminy, but Penridge is, like I said, limping in, and Neshaminy is really hitting on all cylinders. So, I don't think you can go with anybody but Neshaminy.
Neshaminy comes in rolling following a huge victory last week over their arch nemesis Pennsbury. On the other side, you mentioned Penridge comes limping in. Drew, what do you see on Friday night?
Well, in the first game, Zach Treadway for Neshaminy got hurt in the first quarter and couldn't play the rest of the way. He's one of those kids that makes that team go. Wide receiver, defensive back, punt returner. It's a different team when he's playing. He's back. Penridge, struggling. Coming off again a 35-0, loss to East. Very dispiriting. Neshaminy is a much better team than it was in early September, and I'm not sure how much Penridge has progressed. So if there's going to be an upset in the first round, that might be the one, but I don't see it.
Now, we're expecting all chalk in the second round for the most part, but there are a couple games we want to touch on. Jen, you wanted to touch on the 4-5 matchup of Ridley and Coatesville.
Yeah, it's hard to really call it an upset when it's a 4-5 game and you have the 5 seed winning. I really think that'll be a good game, Ridley versus Coatesville. I think Ridley has it. I don't know. There's something about that team.
Drew, you said Perk Valley could be in trouble later in the playoffs. Is this the round when they take on Downingtown East?
Yes, it is the round. I think the Temple signee, Jeremy Jennings, a cornerback for East. He'll be on Justin Jaworski, Perk Valley's standout wide receiver. Temple, they're doing great in this area, getting recruits. Matt Rule's doing, he's getting it done. Jennings is a very good player. If he can nullify Jaworski, Downingtown East has enough offense, even in a shootout with a team like Perk Valley. And I don't trust the Perk Valley defense enough, so that's my upset in the second.
That's a good pick.
All right, we're on to the Final Four now. North Penn and Ridley is the matchup, Jen, that both you and I have in this matchup. I expect you expect North Penn to keep rolling.
Ridley is one of those teams that has a really tough home field advantage, as we all know. But they are obviously going on the road to a team that has a maybe even tougher home field advantage. I don't think anybody likes going to Crawford Stadium. Maybe not even North Penn itself likes playing at Crawford Stadium. North Penn's, they're rolling.
Down in the bottom part of the bracket, we've got Perk Valley and Neshaminy, or you have Downingtown East and Neshaminy. Either way, I think we all expect Neshaminy to advance.
Yeah, that'll be a good one. Boy, just imagine if the Downingtown schools didn't split.
Right.
What we'd have. But that's another story. Neshaminy, again, at home. They're playing at home. A huge advantage. They don't have to get on the bus. Don't have to fight the turnpike for an hour and a half.
Sure.
And that puts them over the top. Again, that'll be another shootout, though.
All right, we've all got North Penn and Neshaminy. Moment of truth. What do you got?
Well, I have to go with North Penn, but I remember going to Neshaminy for the preseason, to do my previews video, and the kids at Neshaminy remember losing to North Penn in the district playoffs last year, and they were using that in the weight room as they're going through their reps, yelling at each other, North Penn, to motivate each other. That is going to be such a great game. I'm so looking forward to that. And it's not that Neshaminy doesn't have a chance.
Sure.
But I can't bet against North Penn right now. But I would not be surprised to see Neshaminy win.
And Drew, no neutral site. So if Neshaminy wins, they got to go into Crawford and do it. Do you see it happening?
Well, I don't think in that case, like a team, like a seasoned team like Neshaminy, I don't think that matters to them where they have to go.
Okay.
You asked me the question a month ago, I would have said North Penn by 4 touchdowns. I think now, even as well as North Penn is playing, and it's really, really good, I say it's a 7 to 10 point game, but the Knights still come out on top and win another district title.
Didn't Neshaminy give North Penn fits on their field last year?
Yeah,
I feel like that was a really close game.
Yeah, they just play ping pong back
Yeah.
and forth every year. So, but again, North Penn a little bit better this year.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I got North Penn winning the district as well, which is probably not what they want to hear because I picked them 2 years ago. But anyway, we got to get out of here. Varsity Voice continues after this. Drew and Jen, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Back with more here on the Comcast Network after this.
Hi, I'm Tommy Green, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. When I was in high school, it was very important to me to show scouts what I could do. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you're a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAY-EASY.
The Sports Fan Base Network, this area's leader in high school sports broadcasting, is continually bringing you the most in-depth coverage. Join us for Varsity Voice every Thursday on TCN and CSN, where we'll have interviews with players, coaches, writers, and more, plus analysis, highlights, and a variety of features on major topics in the Delaware Valley high school sports community. Tune in every Thursday at 6 p.m. on TCN and 11:30 on CSN for the best and only high school sports show around, Varsity Voice, presented by SFBN.
Welcome back to Varsity Voice. The football playoffs kick off this week, and it's not just a boys' game anymore.
I played high school soccer for 4 years, and my coach Mike is good friends with the football coach, Coach Banis. And at one point, soccer and football had to share the turf for practices, and I made a joke to my soccer coach saying there were some girl kickers on the high school team in the previous years for football. And I said, like, I wish I could do that, like, not taking it seriously. And then my coach Mike went up to Coach Banis, the football coach, and said, I have a girl that wants to be the kicker. And so that practice, at the end of my soccer practice, I went over to the football field and I tried kicking for the first time. I never kicked one in my life. I went up and kicked one, and it surprisingly made it. And then he asked me to come to the next game, which was on a Monday. It was a JV game, and I kicked for that football game.
I played for the 9th grade co-ed soccer team at my middle school. And the 9th grade football team, they didn't have a kicker. And I knew a bunch of the kids on the team, and I was friends with them. And with a long soccer background, I decided it was going to be something that I would try and be kind of fun, more of an experience than anything. So I went for it.
It is hard to balance both soccer and football because they're in the same season. Both my coaches are really lenient with each other because they were friends. And I have football games Friday nights, so I always go to the football games on Friday nights. I try to make as many walkthroughs, which are Thursdays for football, because that gets you ready for the Friday night game. Soccer, I go to the games and I attend mostly like half and half practices. Like I split it up evenly throughout the week.
The big difference between lacrosse and football is my role on the team. As a place kicker, you only get in so many plays, but in lacrosse, you're constantly involved, you're always moving around, and football's a lot of stop and go, and especially being a kicker, like, you're important, but you're not running around every play, you're not always involved, but in lacrosse, everybody's involved. You have to be moving off the ball, you have to be cutting in, going this way and that way, and just, it's a very different dynamic. On the field, it really doesn't make a difference because I'm put myself out on the field just like any other kid, and I have a job just like any other kid, and it's to do my job and do it well. And being a girl on the football team, you need to do everything just as much as the guys are doing. You need to lift, you need to run, train, do everything. You have to work just as hard as they do. I mean, if you're putting yourself out on the field, the coaches want to put the best player out on the field. Whether or not that's you, you need to work to make sure it is.
Being the only girl on the team with the football team is fun at sometimes, and it's a good experience all the time. But on the field, if I ever miss a field goal or PAT, they always say, like, it's okay, even though sometimes it's not okay. And they're really nice. They always stick up for me at the other teams being like rude or something, because they do single the only girl out sometimes. It's a lot of fun on the field and off the field.
There really isn't a difference between being a girl or a guy on the team. The coaches and players have been really great and nothing but accepting with the whole scenario. And I think it's really important that they're like that, because with a different coaching staff or a different teammates, the experience for me would have been completely different. They could have been negative towards the idea of a girl playing on the team, but everybody that I'm involved with here at North Penn has been really great and nothing but great.
With most of the football players, I do have a good relationship outside of football, because just like really good friends. I go to like some of the football stuff with them. Like a couple years ago, we went to like the spaghetti dinner together for football and stuff. I know they act like I'm like one of them sometimes, so like, that's always nice, and they always include me, so that's nice.
It was a shorter kickoff, and I saw the guys hand off the ball. That was something that our coaches told us to like look for, because they've done it before. So I followed the guy handing it off, and he ran up the sideline and beat the special teams kickoff coverage. And I saw him coming down, and I was the last line of defense at that point, so I just ran over and tried to push him out of bounds. That specific kickoff was a little bit different, because normally our kickoff coverage is inside the 20 or just outside the 20 making the tackles, and normally it doesn't get to me, but if I'm putting myself out on the field, that I have to not just kick, but be able to make a play if need be.
I did see Kelly's hit against the CBE's team. I thought that was awesome. I wish I could do it, but I think it's really cool that she could do that. I would recommend playing football to other female student athletes. I think it's a good experience, and it's a good thing to have for when you're applying to colleges or jobs, and it's good to know that you stand out a little bit. It's a lot of fun too. It's making my senior year a lot of fun.
I know that there's other girls in the area that play, and I feel like if it's something that you're really into and you have a passion for it and you're going to work hard and you're going to put in just as much effort as everyone else, then it's something that you want to try, and you should go for it.
Hi, I'm Marty Bystrom, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. In my experience in Major League Baseball, I know how important it is for high school athletes to gain exposure. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you are a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAY-EASY.
Flippin' Shakes has everything from burgers to sandwiches to delicious milkshakes. The Sports Fanbase Network crew chows down on a variety of favorites, from classic egg creams to the trending mac and cheese burger. Located at 233 2nd Street Pike in Southampton, you can dine in or take out. Flippin' Shakes, great food, great service, a flippin' good time.
Welcome back to Varsity Voice, joined right now by Mark Trible from the Courier Post. Mark, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Hey, thanks, Mike.
Our game this week on the Comcast Network features 3-4 Washington Township taking on 1-6 Kingsway. Now, you look at the records, they don't say much about these teams, but I love a football game like this because for Washington Township, they can't worry about the fact that the schedule says the playoffs start next week. For them, they start Friday night.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Mike. And they got a quarterback in Mike Papirno and a playmaker on the outside in Kaz Sturgis who sorely want to get them to the playoffs. Coach Mark Wechter's team, they've been up and down, played some teams tight. If they win this, they've got a shot at making the Group 5 South playoffs, and if not, they're out. So a little bit of motivation for Kingsway.
And on the other side for Kingsway, they could play the spoiler role. They can end the season here for Washington Township. And under a first-year head coach, a rebuilding program, that's exactly the kind of win you feed off of.
Yeah, you look at the Dragons under Mark Hendricks, he's got the program moving in the right direction in terms of the foundation he's put in place. They've only won once, but recently they've played a lot of tight games. They've gotten better as the years worn on. These teams go back a long way, so it would certainly mean a lot to Kingsway and Hendricks if they could knock them out.
A great game coming up in South Jersey on Friday night as well has Cherry Hill West taking on Camden Catholic. Both of these teams undefeated, and Camden Catholic has to be riding high after their win against Shawnee.
Yeah, Camden Catholic's put together a great season. They're a younger team than last year, but this is where they were last year, undefeated at this point. And you look at Cherry Hill West, they haven't been this good since '67. So, I mean, the Lions have a kind of a little magic around them, it seems like this year. They've got Harrison Hand, one of the best cornerbacks, if not the best cornerback in New Jersey. So playmakers across the field for both sides. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. This is for a division championship, and you know, this is where Camden Catholic always expects to be. For Cherry Hill West, it would certainly be a feather in their cap if they could get this championship.
Another great game on Friday night has West Deptford taking on Collingswood.
Sure, these are two rivals. I mean, they go back a long way too, and they don't make any bones about it. They don't really like each other. Collingswood and West Deptford both in Group 2 South could see each other in the playoffs. Collingswood's really peaking at the right time. Great defense. Linebacker Michael Tulane has been fantastic. Jovan Ali at quarterback's been good. And West Deptford, they're going to run the ball in the wing T. They've been doing it for years under Coach Clyde Folsom. Snuck by Cinnaminson last week in a great game. So this really looks like it'll be, this is a game that you see on Friday, but you hope to see it again in the playoffs, that type of game.
Yeah, absolutely. Mark Trible from the Courier Post. Mark, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Be sure to check out our website for our upcoming broadcast schedule here on SFBN. That'll just about do it for this week's edition of Varsity Voice. This is usually the spot in the show where we make our predictions. I gotta catch Ari. I'm not letting him off that easy. Josh, call Ari. Get him on the phone.
Hello.
Hey, partner. What's up?
Just hanging at home. How are you, Mike?
I'm doing well. How you feeling? How's the ankle?
Not bad. Life must go on.
All right. Well, the playoffs must go on and our predictions must go on as well. You ready to pick some games?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go.
All right, let's do it. 8-9 matchup in the District 1 6A playoffs has Springford taking on CB East.
What a great matchup of the Pac-10 versus Suburban 1. I'm going with Springford in this one. They're home. Their only losses were to Wilson and Perk Valley. I really like them a lot, although this is going to be a great game.
It really is. Pac-10 is much improved this year, but I like how CB East is coming into the playoffs. They're going to be upset that they didn't get a home game, and I like the Patriots in this one. 5-12. Are you going to go with the cliche upset? Ridley and Plymouth White Marsh.
I think I am in this case, Mike. I saw PW beat Upper Dublin. That game was on SFBN earlier this year. They have the defense to win a game like this on the road. I'm going with the Colonials.
And I'm going to go with Ridley in this game. I like Ridley. As I said, Pac-10 much improved this year. I actually have Ridley making it all the way to the Final Four of the District 1 6A playoffs. All right, let's go 7-10, CB South and Garnet Valley.
Another great matchup, but I have to go with the Titans in this one. Their only 2 losses were to North Penn and the Neshaminy. CB South at home on the new turf. I like the Titans.
Yeah, not a bad spot to be for CB South. At home, they want a rematch against Neshaminy. I think they get it. I think they get the victory here as well. All right, Neshaminy and Penridge, the 2-15. We expected this matchup much later in the playoffs.
Yeah, we certainly did. We were talking about Penridge being probably the 3rd best team in District 1 next to North Penn and Neshaminy, but they have fallen far to the 5-5 record. I think there's no way that the Skins lose this game. I've got Neshaminy.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one. I think Neshaminy puts on a little bit of a display early on in the playoffs and lets everybody know, hey, we're here to stay. All right, we'll let you get going. Hope you feel better soon.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for calling.
Time for us to get out of here. Let's check out our highlight of the week.
The highlight of the week is brought to you by ProVantage Insurance and Financial Services. With over 40 years of experience, ProVantage will work closely with you to find the best coverage for your auto, health, life, homeowners, and business insurance. ProVantage puts clients first, and they'll do what it takes to ensure your future through the proper protection. We welcome the opportunity to add you to our family.
Well, absolutely. Again, a great crowd has come out, and it's actually still coming in. So 2nd down and 5 for the 25. This is handed off, and now the reverse. Flea flicker off.
And he's wide open down the field.
Down the field. This is going to be Lynch. He will make the catch at the 40 at the 35-yard line. Some trickery here from the Friars.
So far, it's been very effective. He's back to throw a great pass. It's a foot race. It's a foot race, and it's going to be a touchdown, and that's going to be our play of the game. What a brilliant play by the hometown Indians.
Select video equipment for Varsity Voice has been provided by DMP Video. DMP Video. You provide the moment, we'll capture the memories. For more information about our videography services, please go to our website at www.dmpvid.com. Hey, you.
Who, me?
Yes, you. Do you like pro sports?
Yeah.
Do you like college sports?
Of course.
Do you like high school sports?
I guess.
Maybe you just don't know much about them.
Hey, voice in the sky.
Huh?
Where can I go to learn more about Philadelphia area high school athletics?
Just watch Varsity Voice every Thursday on TCN and CSN.